Oh, Kelsey's getting faster.
She's getting better, they're faster.
They know why.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here and those watching on TV. First order of business is a public hearing.
Conditional use permit renewal extension request from Historic Preservation of Hermann. Do they have a representative here today? So, as the board will recall, this came up at the last meeting under motions as conditional use permits always do. And there was some discussion among the board and our permittee about what was going on and so forth. And my advice was if there was even any consideration of not renewing the permit, what we ought to do is go ahead and pass it to this meeting and give it its own public hearing spot on the agenda in order for the permittee to prepare appropriately and answer any questions that you might have about the status. I know that initially it was for an 18-month permit. That was going to be the term of it. I remember discussing that at P&Z and at the council or at the board whenever that came up, and that was to give more time for construction, getting it ready and things like that. So the term was one thing that was discussed at the last meeting, but that's really all I have in the way of intro. That's what it's about.
At the last meeting, you didn't really have much answers for us, and so I think that's why we're where we are. What is your program, I guess, or what are your plans?
So we would like to ask for an extension of another 18 months. We do have the permits from the Historic Preservation Federal. And looking through the records and that, I was able to determine that took a good year. So that was eventually March 24th of 2025 that was approved federally. We did have a contractor. Dustin had a gentleman, Nate Shoemaker, that was lined up. That was going to be his project, but unfortunately that fell through and he took a different project for somewhere else. So these guys working on our distillery project, we haven't been able to get going. We have on the exterior cleaned up the property as best we can for now. Inside has been gutted, cleaned up, ready for construction to start.
And we're still waiting on a contractor too for some exterior stuff too. So we're doing all we can. I assume everybody understands how contractors are. It's hard to get them now. So everybody's busy.
Y'all have any questions?
Just for curiosity, what historical aspects was in that house?
So honestly, it's an older house. I don't even remember when they dated it to, but it did have, they considered to be historical value for the city of Hermann. So the state did want to up on that to keep that preserved.
I knew back to the 60s who lived there.
And I don't even know when it was actually built. The house was. Honestly, I can't tell you that. I don't know.
Then I think your building permit had expired too.
Oh, okay.
I think they're only good for a year.
Typically. We can get that renewed.
But that all has to be brought up.
Yeah, those are only good for so long also.
Right.
So you'll have to renew that. Ash, you have any questions or anything?
No, I mean, if, with, you know, you guys being Kohler Construction, if you guys, it's on your agenda.
It is, yeah.
I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we just want to make sure that it's actually, you know, we don't renew it another 18 months and then it's still
No,
potential.
I get it,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
this is a project that we definitely want to get done and complete.
Mhm.
It's in everyone's best interest that we do.
Yeah.
And Jim and Bank-holders do a fantastic job, so it's going to be really nice once it's done and add value to the city, so.
Dolores, do you have any?
The only thing, you're restoring this to use it as a guest house, correct?
Okay.
I don't have anything. I think that, I know that construction gets pushed behind, so and then you didn't get your date till March 24th, 25. I would be fine renewing it for 18 months again.
I can't see going another 18 months. We issued it once and nothing was done.
There was work done on the exterior, like it's cleaned up a little bit on the inside, and I mean, we very limited on time we had to work on it, so not much was done, but a little bit was.
You're against, you're in favor? Ash, are you in favor of extending?
I'm in favor of extending.
Dolores, are you in favor of extending?
I would say a year and have them come back and give us a report.
Get it done in a year?
Recommendation.
And before a vote's taken, I don't know why folks are here tonight, we can ask if there's anybody speaking in favor or against the renewal.
Okay. Anybody in the public? You're all here for the Angels, I believe. Okay.
I'd go along with Dolores' 12-month extension, but at the end of that 12 months, I would recommend it's jerked.
You recommend what?
I'll go along with Dolores for additional renewal for 12 months, but at the end of 12 months, we're sitting where we are tonight. I would recommend a cup would be removed.
If progress has been made by that
It
12?
should be done by then. That gives you, what, 2.5 years as promised? We don't offer that to other people.
Well, and again, the focus really is, this is a conditional use permit. And so it was issued back at a time when the board was when the code was more lenient on getting conditional use permits than it is now. And so what the focus really is on is the use. And 18 months ago, I guess it was determined by planning and zoning and this board that the use of the property as a guest house was okay for this particular neighborhood. And so I'm not hearing that there have been any changes in character of the neighborhood or, you know, any new reasons why the use would be more objectionable now than it was then, other than the city's just general tougher stance on these things than it had, you know, back then. You know, so one approach the city could have is say, well, you know, it's speaking of yanking it, you know, this board's made a determination that we don't want all these conditional uses for guest houses and these zoning classes, and so that's why we're gonna yank it and not renew it. But I just wanted to say all that, because all the focus has been on construction and timing and all that, and it's not really a building permit hearing, it's a conditional use hearing. But yeah, I think whatever the new term you give it, if there's not, because here's what happens when it comes up on motions all the time, and you guys bring it up, somebody asks chief if there's been any problems, chief says no, usually, or people in the crowd say no, and so it's renewed. If you renew it another year and it's still not done, you don't have any use of the property as proposed to go on, right? And so how long do you let that go on? But I just wanted to mention that the focus is still on the use of it, and is that appropriate?
As far as your construction phase, you're the construction guy. Do you actually need that amount of time, or can you do it in 12 months, do you think?
18 months would definitely be better. We're currently tied up. Now, if we can find another contractor tomorrow, then yeah, but you know how that is. Just can't guarantee we can find somebody that soon. It's quite hard to do that.
Right. I would recommend going to the 18 months, but I guess we need that in a motion from somebody, correct?
I'll make a motion that we give it an 18-month extension.
Have a motion, do I have a second? For 18 months?
I'll second the 18-month extension.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed?
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 2 ayes, 2 opposed. I'm in favor of it, so. You have 18 months.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Don't take any longer. Get the big hammer. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, moving on, mayor's report. I really don't have anything. I hope everybody had a chance to get out to the Blue Oval Car Show. They had a wonderful crowd and a beautiful day, and you know, the good thing about the Blue Oval is all the money they raise will come back to the community. So I'm 100% supportive, and I hope that people got a chance to go look at all the pretty cars. The other thing that I wanted to mention, last meeting I had asked mainly the businesses more than private individuals to kind of clean up their property and with weeds and so forth on the sidewalks. And I want to thank several businesses. I noticed a big improvement. There's a lot that needs to be done yet, but I see some improvement, and I appreciate that. I hope you all can keep up the good work on that. City Administrator.
Thank you. We have put up an ad out on Facebook and in the Advertiser Courier reminding the public about the fire hydrant testing tomorrow between 6:30 p.m. and 9 o'clock p.m. Please limit your water usage and do not wash clothes at that time. May experience low water pressure, and turn off ice makers would be a good idea. And if you have discolored water after the flushing is done, let it run for 5 to 15 minutes and it should clear up. So would everybody be aware of that? And for you folks, I just wanted to remind everybody that we still have a vacancy on the Landmarks Commission. So all our other boards are full. So if you can think of anybody to fill that spot, remember that they recently changed you all agreed to change the membership requirement to a 5-mile radius, provided that the majority of the board are residents. So if you have any ideas for Landmarks or anybody out there wants to serve, we'd be happy to entertain that. I was reached out to by the ambulance district last week, and they have asked to co-locate their radio equipment on our radio tower up at St. George. They had the company that they're using, I think it's the same company we use, A&W radio equipment, had them check, and they said that there is plenty space for the ambulance district's equipment to be located. I did find a former lease use agreement we had with the school when they put their tower on there, and so I was going to send that to you, Dave, and let you kind of review that and see if we can tweak that to fit this need, and that would be coming before you all probably one of the meetings in September.
Okay.
We also had a recent Federal Administration railroad and safety inspection particularly for the quiet zone area down at the riverfront. They were specifically looking at our signs and painted markings and warnings and those sorts of things. So they did have a couple suggestions for us that Jesse and Todd and I are going to be going over, and it's basically cosmetic stuff. A couple of the signs are faded. Some of them they would like to be larger. They want some extra painted markings on the entrance and things like that. But we'll get that up to snuff. I'm also working on providing information for our state revolving fund loan program for our wastewater bonds. That's moving again, and so they're collecting a whole lot of financial data from me for what they're calling the financial review phase, which takes, I think, 3 or 4 months. So that's where that is at. And the only update I have on the comprehensive plan review, last meeting I announced that September 23rd here from 9 to 12 would be the initial advisory committee review, and then we've actually solidified the date for the P&Z review, which is going to be October 8th. And just remind everybody that the city will be closed next Monday for Labor Day.
Okey doke. Thank you so much. Public Works.
The street department has completed patching on Schiller ahead of the Blue Oval event. They've been painting curbs and parking spots as well, and they completed the repairs on the 300 block of West 6th Street alley where that alley washed out in that big May rain. Water has been working on service taps on Schiller. The sewer side, we've been cameraing, doing some investigation of some sewer lines when we've got the time. Gas has been pretty quiet. The parts and stuff are ordered to hook up the generator, so hopefully that'll be moving along here pretty shortly. On the electric side, we've installed the new tennis court lights and basketball court lights. I think we've got 2 left at the tennis court. We had a couple of the old aluminum mounts that the bolts broke off in, so Lumpkins is getting those fixed up for us, and then those will be done. We installed a new pole up at the industrial park as part of the conversion work coming out of the new substation. Hopefully this fall we can start getting some more of that conversion work done. On the public works side, I've been working with a couple developers on a couple different projects, as well as working on sewer mapping.
Anybody have any questions?
Was there any, did you guys find the culprit behind the First Street sinkhole?
Yeah, that's the same face I made.
Oh.
They dug down and there was no void. I'm kind of nervous about it, honestly.
It was definitely a sinkhole.
Oh, it was definitely a sinkhole, yeah. So there's kind of a couple possibilities there that, you know, one, there was a void under it from when MoDOT redid the water line back in, I think that was like 2008 or 9. The other possibility is if that old coal chute under the sidewalk is being undermined somewhere. They excavated until they got to solid ground and they stopped. Getting the vac truck down there, if we're going to do that, we're going to have to block off some parking and figure out a good time to do that. So they just patched it, and we're going to see what it does. I talked to the guy that purchased the property next to the deli there, between you and Doxy, and I know he's looking at redoing the sidewalk and curb and gutter and everything. So I'm hoping when he does that, if there's any problems with that coal chute, we'll find it at that time.
Question, where we at moving forward with the Spring Creek Bridge there on 100 and by Hermann?
That's a great question. Until we get some funding, or we figure out the liability situation for the cause of that problem, we don't have a way to repair it. I mean, it's going to be, the first time we looked at it, and this was like right after COVID, so yeah, I think it was the rough guess from the engineer was like $250,000, and I know that hasn't went down. So they're monitoring it, they're shooting the points, I think twice a year, just keeping a record of the movement on that section of sidewalk and bridge. But MoDOT has absolutely no desire to put any money into it. Their opinion is that they can mud jack it for way cheaper than they can repair it, and specifically because they didn't create the issue. And the problem is every time they mud jack it, that creates more pressure, which pushes harder on the retaining wall and the sidewalk. So it's just a bad situation, and I don't have any good answers for you.
Where are we with the old bark lighting?
The poles are ordered, the lights are ordered. The engineer has the specs and plan to get drawn out, and we're waiting on a bid packet from them. And then that'll get bid out. My guess is it'll probably be, I mean, unless we get a really dry fall, it'll probably end up being next year before the work gets done. I'm kind of hopeful that we're gonna have a dry fall. Maybe we can get them in there late fall, early winter. Problem is that they're gonna have to work. I mean, that's all bottom ground. So if it gets soft, I'm not real sure how they're gonna do it. But that being said, I mean, we haven't had the contractors bid on it yet to know how they're planning on doing it. So I have spoke to the manufacturer of the lights. They're willing to hold the poles for us as long as possible, so that's helpful. The fixtures, we've got room to store, so that's not as big of an issue. But
How long is the grant going to be?
I think it's, I want to say July 20-something of next year. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say it was like July of next year.
And what about the Lions Field lift station?
That's still kind of tied up for until we start getting the grant money. The engineering is pretty well done for that project. We had to do that kind of to apply for the funding. So I guess once the money starts rolling in is kind of when we can start
And
on
the
that
state has
project.
approved the plans.
Right. I think the plans are approved, but there's still some funding stuff that has to be approved before we can move forward to get the matching grant funds.
Anybody else? Thank you, sir. Thank you for what you do. We have no public comments. We will move to old business. Discuss the sewer dumping from private companies. This relates to the Donald Gutenberg. So,
Yeah, so I think at a prior meeting, the go-ahead was pretty much given by you all to prepare a draft of an ordinance that allows dumping in certain circumstances and allows permitting and all these things. And I got to researching it a little and trying to write it and realize that what some cities do and what might be better is just contract with whatever companies are doing it. You know, if we have one plumbing company or with an outfit like you know the porta potty place in Union, although that's not here. You know, if we have one or two companies that do 99% of this dumping, just go to each of them and say the city of Hermann hereby contracts with you to allow you to dump under these guidelines, and you need to do this and make sure that your stuff you're dumping does not contain this and this and this and this. And we can kind of address each situation on a case-by-case basis instead of trying to pass an ordinance that makes it look like we'll allow anybody to do it, you know, if they just apply for a permit and check the boxes. And I don't know, the companies that we have in mind, are they local within city limits?
One of them is for sure. Do you know?
I don't think they actually operate inside the city limits as far as their business, but they are local.
So, you know, if they don't operate within city limits and we pass an ordinance that says that generally anybody can apply for one of these permits and we allow them to do it, what stops Hermann from being the dumping place for every septic company that's out there? And hey, Hermann allows this, you know, go apply, and then we give permits to the first 2 or 3 or 4, and then we get into, oh, we got to stop doing this, but then we're hesitant to deny permits because then you're denying a permit. I don't know, I think if we just have 1 or 2, just work with them directly, was my thought.
Jesse, if I'm not mistaken, there's really only 1 or 2 companies currently that use our dump station correctly, or correct?
Yeah, I know there's 2 for sure. I've heard other people say they've seen a 3rd truck. I can't remember the name of that company, but I've heard up to 3 maybe that have used it. And after Trish and Dave kind of talked to me about this, I think this is the way to go, because if we have a contract, that way we can specify everything in that contract, you know, individually, and if we decide later that we want to, maybe we want to have an annual maximum that we allow. Those are all things that we can address in those contracts. So,
Make it year to year, or even the first time, make it 6 months, or we just got more control, I think, that way.
yeah.
And we're not gonna be doing 20 of them.
And the
Yeah, I don't want that.
And the one company dumps a lot. I see.
Yeah,
I see the truck down there.
Yeah,
a
he's
lot.
down there a lot. And that's the one that's local, that's
Right.
here the most.
So, I mean, I don't know how you want to figure that.
But otherwise, the dump station would be off limits, or it would be locked
Yeah,
up.
so it's locked, and then they'll have to come here to get a key so that we have a record that they don't.
Right.
I think that's gonna be the easiest way to
But
keep everybody honest.
No, I think that's the only way to go, but I think it needs to be, well, I've been watching it for a couple of years now, and I think it's something that we really need to take care of.
Is there a dump station at the campground?
Yes, but it's not near the same kind of dump station. It's just for a little 4-inch pipe for a camper. And honestly, not a lot of people use it anymore because all the sites now are full hookup. When they weren't full hookup, it got used quite a bit.
Any other comment?
So if we do this, then these contracts would still come before you because the board has to approve any contracts. So maybe we just proceed that way.
I like that. I think that's the way to go. You agree? Everybody in agreement? Okay, we'll move forward that way. Thank you, Joseph. All right, discuss the Angel of Hope statue location. Good, glad to see everybody again. Didn't want you to think that we forgot about this, so you're on the agenda. I don't have any really good news, but I don't have any news. I mean, I don't know how else to say it at this point. The area that you're looking at up there, we talked to the tree commission. We really don't have a firm answer on the tree situation. As far as the construction of the park, we don't really have a clear answer on that because we don't know to the extent of what needs to be done and then the cost of that needs to be done and how we're going to fund that cost. Am I correct? Basically, I mean, so in other words, that is not going to happen tomorrow. So we don't really have a way to say, yeah, that's a good location. So I think I seen a note from Jim on, I think we're still trying to figure out maybe other places that it might work. Anyway, you all have any comments that you want to pass on? Anybody?
I think that it is smaller than what we originally thought it was.
Yeah, that's
And
good. I think that's a good thing.
And it's in a different
That helps.
location than we originally thought it was, so, I mean, I'm in favor of moving forward with it. We're up there.
I just, anyway,
Had a message that Bruce was talking about. I looked at the city park. If we look up there, if you will, if you can visualize that right off of Washington Street as you would go into that rock archway, and there's a picture of, I think, Charles Eitzen. And then there's a little document there that explains the history of the city park, 600 acres or what have you. And there's a nice level spot right there. If we want to go that way, then I talked to the mayor. He thought maybe south of the building here, there's a nice level spot there. And then I mentioned, well, we could come north of the building along the parking lot. It's nice and level also. So as the mayor mentioned, we're still trying to find other alternate locations that you all may consider as another alternative site.
I know that stone archway there, that site you were talking about, I mean, it is on the park board's budget to restore. I don't know if it actually can be restored. I think it's going to be more of a rebuild.
I think so.
But, that might could maybe kind of go hand in hand, you know, if that would be an option. I like the idea of it where it's at. I hate to get the green light to it and then that retaining wall turns into a bigger project than anyone thinks it might be, and then it get disturbed.
I guess the bottom line, what I want you all to know from us is that we're very supportive of this idea, and we want to help you move forward with it. It's just that it's not going to happen immediately, and you know, I know you're anxious to get it going, and you're anxious to start fundraising, and as far as I'm concerned, I guess you could start fundraising. It's just you don't have a location yet, but I think ultimately we will figure that out. It's just we can't do it quickly. Nothing happens here quickly. I've learned that in my time here, that, you know, if you come up with this idea, that's great, and then all of a sudden you find a paper that says you can't do that. You know, and that's kind of the situation we're in, is that, you know, we don't want to get the cart before the horse, I guess, type of thing, so.
Does Jesse have any idea of when the wall is going to be worked on or checked?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know Ben has talked to Vic Myers about it already, but I don't know if Vic Myers gave him a date.
I talked to Ben, and they don't have a timeline for it because they don't have the budget for it yet.
So that's going to take some time, but anyway,
And he doesn't know if, you know, and like you said, we don't know if or how it would possibly interfere. It's a big unknown.
right,
But the fact that they moved it, with, you know, from that overlooking ball field.
but anyway, I wanted it to be on the agenda so y'all knew that we're taking you seriously, you know. That we're just not trying to pass the buck, that we just don't have an answer for you, and I wish I had, but I don't. But we're 100% supportive of what you're trying to do.
So exactly where is this going to be? I know it's going to be on the north side of the rotunda, but where is it going to be?
They showed us a picture at the last meeting. I think do you want to speak to that? We have your drawing. I suspect the location's the same as the picture you had, I think, of, it had Sherry in it.
Yes, the location is right in front of that tree that has the kind of the big hole, not hole in it yet, but it's starting to get it. We moved it out far enough from that tree to where if there'd be any drippings from that tree that wouldn't get on the angel.
And the tree was
It's pretty far
further
back. Yeah, it's pretty far back in there.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at the rotunda to the left and then deep,
Right.
Yes.
if I'm right.
So they're saying we're not going to cut the tree down because it's actually
But tree
gonna
commission
die?
did-
I spoke
So-
to Jesse.
Amy?
Go ahead.
The tree right now is, you know, it's not near in a situation of failure yet. So obviously we've lost a lot of, you know, mature trees around town. We don't want to take any more than we absolutely have to. That tree's still in good shape. It's not dying out a whole lot,
But this is.
but it's also in decline. Yeah, it's a whole slippery hill.
Does anybody else want to see the picture?
Could I see it again?
This is what the full 35 feet, and we're not gonna look at it because once we get bids from everybody, it was way more than what we could. But what I think up here is 20, but I think they're gonna be smaller than this.
Where, so just in relation to this, where
Mayor.
rotunda, it's over
Mayor.
here. right?
Yes.
I think the issue with
China was like.
not going to the
Okay,
city
okay.
park,
I can't do
So we
that.
need you on record,
Okay.
so do you want to come give your name and,
I do not want to have to speak, but I'm going to. An issue to going to the city park, it's always going to be a park. Coming out here, this may not always be City Hall. City Hall used to be down on Schiller. So that's one of the reasons why I like the idea here, but this may not always be city property. It could be sold. So that's just where I'm coming from.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Never thought of that, so no, I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
I just thought my idea was better. No. Just kidding.
Good idea.
So anyway, at this point, I guess we're going to kind of table it let us do some research, because otherwise it has to come up on the agenda every meeting. So I'm gonna table it, and then I will get with you when I find out any information, and then, so you all know that we're gonna put it back on the agenda for discussion again.
Yeah, and we're gonna start raising funds now, because it's
Well,
gonna take us
I don't see any
several
reason you
years.
can't
Yeah, because.
do that,
we
because it's gonna
initially-
take you a while to do that.
Right, we initially thought we could do it all for 30,000, which cannot happen, because we've been sending out bids for different places, and what we really wanted to do would have cost us closer to 75,000, so that's why we're having to scale back on what we want to do.
I understand, but I just want you all to understand where we're at, so.
So what are we going, what's the city going to be looking at? What are we looking at?
But we're gonna be,
On the construction side, I know Ben's concern right now is the retaining walls for the ballpark. He's afraid that they're gonna have to get some of the equipment to restore those retaining walls from the top. So obviously, if we've gotta be tracking heavy equipment up there, and there's a real nice paver patio, that's not gonna work out great. Some of those retaining walls on the north end of the ball field there, where the bleachers and stuff are, we're not sure we can get to those from the bottom. So he's thinking they may have to tear that hillside off and bring that equipment back down that hillside to get it from the top to excavate.
so in other words, basically, we're just gonna table it for the time being until we find more answers. We don't have all the answers. I think it's the bottom line, you know, you don't wanna make a promise that we can't keep, you know,
I
And
think
maybe
one
we
thing
can
might help
coordinate.
too, if we somehow get with parks or something, maybe put some stakes and just kind of tape it off, so if we went up there, we could actually visualize where you're
Yeah, well,
suggesting.
we've done that several different times for our committee, because I'm a visual person, I have to see it.
Yeah.
So like I said, when we taped it all off at 35 foot, that's what we wanted to do, and then we started getting all the bids, and we realized we just couldn't do it that way, it was just too much. So that's why we're going smaller and smaller.
That's what I'm saying, though, could we stake it, so if I want to
Yeah.
walk up there to see
Absolutely.
it,
Yep,
I could see the proposed location there.
I would like to see that too.
absolutely, we can do that.
I know
Just-
Let me
it's,
know when it's done and I'll notify everybody.
What day do you want the field trip?
or just put some stakes in or paint them orange. That way, you know.
You know, if it comes down to what you guys are bringing the big machinery in to fix the wall, if we are, you know, ready to do it at the same time, we can maybe split the cost of having to put the wall up and the angel up.
Well, and the other thing is, if the stakes are there, where Jesse and them can look and see, maybe there's a possibility there's enough room for that equipment. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay?
yep.
Everybody good with that?
Because I know myself, I would be heartbroken if we gave the green light and it got trashed because we had to fix that.
Yeah. No.
And while you have microphones, anybody interested in donating can look into it now.
Facebook page, and we're sending out letter to all the chamber members.
And you probably do other programs too, but one might be the sale of bricks or something. And
Yes, they can sponsor a brick.
Which will have that up on the page in at least, in probably 2 weeks.
And the page name is
Angel of Hermann.
Angel of Hermann.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments before I get off it?
We just appreciate you guys listening to us and letting us bring our dream to Hermann.
We're all for it. Okay. Thank you all for being here
Thank
again.
you.
No new business. We'll move on to ordinances.
first, which is bill number 2025-36 for second reading. An ordinance setting the 2025 annual rates of levy for ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes, establishment and maintenance of free public parks, and municipal band purposes.
All right, this is second reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Motion's made. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried.
Bill number 2025-37 for second reading. An ordinance to amend Hermann Municipal Code Chapter 140 and Code Sections 300.095 and 110.040 to acknowledge the transfer of municipal court functions to the Gasconade County Associate Circuit Court.
This is also second reading. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve bill number 2025-37. Second read.
The motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We'll move on to motions. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion's been made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Invoices for payment, do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I move we pay those bills.
Motion has been made to pay the bills, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Appoint Michael Neer to the Tree Commission.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Caterers permit, Fernway, Distilling Company, Blacksmith Distillery, and Tom's Town Distilling Company for the Smoke Fest at the amphitheater, September 20th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Caterers permit for Adam Putta Winery, Wine and Chaz Festival, Amphitheater, September 13th, 2025. Have a motion to approve that one.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Festival event application for the Hermann J.C.'s Oktoberfest Beer Garden, Sesquicentennial Park, October 3, 4, 11, 18, and 25th, 2025. Motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Motion made, do I have a second?
I will second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Festival event application for Odin's Roasted Almonds, Roasted Nut Sales, Hermanoff Winery, and Stonehill Winery, October 4, 5, 11, 12, 18, 19, 25, and 26, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Picnic liquor license, Hermann J.C.'s October Beer Garden, Sesquicentennial Park, October 3, 4, 11, 18, and 25, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application for the Hermann Pickleball Tournament for the Pickleball and Tennis Court, September 20th and 21st, 2025. Motion to approve that.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Special event application, Families in Action, Witches and Wine with requested street closure and open containers for 4th and Schiller Streets, October 16th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve.
The motion's made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. We have no reports. We need to go into closed session. Someone wants to read that?
A notice is hereby given that subject to a motion duly made and adopted, the Board of Aldermen may hold a closed meeting for the purpose of dealing with matters relating to leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate pursuant to section 610.0212 and hiring, firing, disciplining, or promoting employees pursuant to section 610.0213 revised statutes of Missouri.
Okay. Do this by individual vote, go
We
work.
didn't get a second. We didn't get a second.
Do what?
He made the motion, we didn't get the second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Keep me straight. I have a second. Now we have to do the individual vote.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. Thank you for watching on TV.